Okie dokie. We are live. Awesome. How's the lighting? Looks good. Welcome, everyone. My name is Chris, and today we are doing the Silly Snowmen Stippling and Watercolor. It's going to be lots of fun, very beginner friendly. I hope we have some kids tuning in too. I'd love to see what they come up with. I'll wait a minute or two as people tune in, and then I'll go over the supplies, and then we'll get right to it. But let me know in the live chat there, maybe where you're from, maybe if this is your very first live with me, Chris, or maybe with Artist Palette Durham Region in general. Maybe this is your first chance trying stippling or watercolors. Let me know in the live chat. Maybe it's your birthday or anything else that you want to chat it up about. Yeah, so we are live, so I am able to answer your questions, show you stuff, shout outs, but you are also able to rewind, even though it's live, or pause if you need to, hear something again, see something again. If you need to run and grab something or run and do something, just hit pause. It'll still be there. And this video will be available to rewatch forever after. Right after the live, the video will be right on our channel for rewatch anytime. Maybe next year. Maybe I'm talking to you and it's the future. Maybe it's Christmas of 2024 already. Welcome to Kim, PA, Pennsylvania. And welcome to, we got a couple of Sues today. Sue in Oakville and Sue in Boston. Awesome. Painting for Susans. Hi, Joanna. Good to see you. Welcome to Lisa in Phoenix. Awesome. I'm going to bet that Lisa doesn't have any snow. I'm in Canada. I'm in London, Ontario, Canada. We don't even have snow. So there's no way Lisa has snow in Arizona. But it's still nice to create a fun, snowy picture. And welcome to, looks like, Tamara and Wanda. Welcome. Let's get started with supplies. And even if people tune in a little bit late, they could still set the playback back to the beginning to see all the supplies. So let's do it. We've got our watercolor paper. Now, if you're planning to do a different medium to color it in, you don't have to use watercolor paper. So if you plan on filling this in with colored pencils or pastels or maybe crayons or markers, you don't have to use watercolor paper. But if you're planning to fill it in with the watercolor or with acrylics even, you're going to need a thicker paper. I'm using this brand, Canson XL watercolor paper. I'm going to do quite a big size today, but you could do any size you want. A 9 by 12 would be a sweet little size for like a present. You can frame it, you can gift it. You could do a little mini version, put it on a greeting card. People will love that. Even a smaller, teeny little version on a gift tag. Little gift tag size ones would be amazing. It could be, like I've got like 6 snowmen here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 6. What if your design, your composition, you just have 3 to represent your family, or 4 or 5, or squeeze in 8 snowmen. You could do any size, any composition that you want. Other supplies, we're going to use a pencil and an eraser. Any pencil, any eraser. I'm using like a 2B. It's a little bit darker pencil so that the camera, I want the camera to see my pencil. But if you have a lighter pencil, use that so it doesn't leave dark marks. Any eraser. I just have this fun little sketch eraser, just something funny. I've got some masking tape. The masking tape is optional. I'm going to put masking tape around the border to make that nice, crisp straight white edge, optional. I've got a whole bunch of pens as options here. These are very popular by Sakura Micron Pens. A lot of artists use these. They come in different sizes. That'll be good. The pens you choose today have to be waterproof. If they're not waterproof, it'll be Bleed City, Run City as soon as we add the watercolor. But if you're using a dry medium to color it in, it doesn't have to be waterproof. Keep that in mind. I like Sharpie. Sharpie brand, always a great brand. They make a lot of different markers and pens, so those are waterproof. Amazon makes like knockoff Sharpies. They make these ultra fine point pens. I grabbed this as an example. It doesn't have to be all black stippling. This is like a dark, dark, dark blue. If you don't have black, grab maybe a dark blue. You could also do, you know, red stippling for the scarf, orange stippling for the nose. It doesn't all have to be one color of the stippling. And maybe your husband is into construction. You'd know this brand, Milwaukee. They make tools. They also make pens. I thought I might grab one of those. They're smudge-proof, waterproof. I just grabbed like a handful of different pens that I own. I've got watercolors. I use this set a lot. It's on Amazon. Mei Liang. Just a nice little travel set. Student grade, not like professional grade or anything like that. Just for fun, bright colors. I've got my water. I've got my paper towel. And I've got like 2 brushes. If you have more than that, that's fine. Just something kind of like with a pointy tip to get into small little areas like a little tiny carrot nose, or, you know, this little band here, tiny little areas, and something like a little bit bigger to fill in bigger areas. But if you have like a whole wide array of sizes, perfect. If you have just 1 paintbrush total, that's fine too. You can make it work. Let's get our paper going. So remember, if you need to go grab something that you forgot, just hit pause and then come right back. Let's put this here. We are going to do our pencil first. I'm going to put down the optional masking tape or painter's tape just to give that nice edge. You could have your stippling, your painting going right to the very edge of your paper, especially maybe if you have a smaller piece of paper. And I like to kind of, I open up my tape and then I kind of put it on my body or on my leg to kind of, you know, de-stickify it a little bit, and to add a few cat hairs. What painting is not complete without a few cat hairs? There we go. That'll make a nice crisp border. You don't have to like really press it down too hard. We want it to release later and not rip our paper. There we go. Pencils and erasers, guys. I'm going to move this. We don't need that right this second. Now, everyone's compositions are going to be different. My composition here is going to be different from that one. I'm not going to do an exact copy. If you want to have less snowmen and make it simpler, or more snowmen, add more interest, represent your family, let's say, do it. Let's loosen up with some wavy lines. I'm going to have sort of, we'll call like back here background. This is sort of middle ground, and this is sort of the foreground. So let's do a nice wavy line for this hill in the background. You could have, mine has 2 bumps. You could have 3 bumps. You could have just 1 big bump, bump and a half, whatever you want. And I would say this is about, like, snow is 2/3, sky is 1/3-ish, but you do you. You have it wherever you want, wherever you want. The bumps could be completely different sizes. It could be more jagged, like a snowy mountain, whatever you feel like, or flatter. What if you want a nice sort of flatter background? Totally, you could do anything you want. So there's one line. I'm going to do another one sort of in the middle ground. How do I want to start it? Maybe like this, bump, bump, anything you want. This is different than this one. And then I'll do sort of one or two really big bumps here. So I've got sort of like a giant one and like a little cutie, or whatever you want. Maybe big and then small. Let's go. Yeah, I like the big. And then something like this. Sure. And you can erase and adjust and move anything you need to. So I'm looking at mine. I think I want to make this one a little bit, dip down a little bit. That looks pretty good. And I might add, you could still add little bumps. What if I want to add a little bump here? I can do that if I want. Here's a little here's like a little half bump here. Do I want that here? Do I want one here? Do I want one here? Like anywhere you want. Let's do one. Sure, why not? Do whatever you want to do. Looks good. All right, snowmen. My snowmen are not traditional in the sense that it's 3 balls. It's like body, head. If you want to do the traditional 1, 2, 3 ball snowman, go for it. If you want a snow cat, a snow dog, a snow penguin, a snow Santa, anything you want to make can be in this painting. What about a snow fox? Anything at all. I'm going to do, let's do biggest first. I'm going to do this big guy right in the foreground. You don't even see his whole body. You just see head and a little shoulder. Let's do a big old head. He's right up close to you. Make it as big as you can, as big as you want. Yes, Kim, it will be available forever. Immediately after this live, it'll be on our page. Thank you for asking. Give your snowman like a scarf or a necktie or a garland, something, maybe a vest. Give him something to wear or, I don't know, hold. I like when snowmen have accessories. Do you want your scarf to be like rounded? I've got some that are just really straight and chunky. These ones are curvy. This one's different. Actually, none of them are the same. If you look at each scarf, I've done all of them just like a little bit different. So I want you to develop your own style here. I'm going to do a scarf that's kind of flying up in the wind. Chunky shapes, basic shapes. Don't make it complicated. So I'm still drawing quite dark because I want the camera to see it. If you can draw lighter, do it. You will benefit a lot from lighter lines. All right, he's got a scarf. He's got a head. Give him a hat. Give him a, what are those called? Earmuffs. What are those called? Headband. It could be a toque. It could be a top hat. Hockey helmet. Festive headband. Anything you want on his head. I'm going to give him like a toque. Oh. Wiggly lines. Crazy lines. They can be erased and adjusted. This is going to be a big toque. Pom-pom, tassels, stripes, whatever you want. I'm just going to tidy up some of these lines. Lines that are unnecessarily cutting through my picture. Great. Give them a nose. Straight out, going up, sagging down, any kind of nose. Big, small, lumpy. There, I give him a lumpy nose. This one goes straight out. Give him a big old smile. I'm going to pencil in some eyes here. Round eyes. They could be lumps of coal kind of eyes. They don't have to be perfectly round. Something like that. Now, other details such as maybe these stripes or, you know, texture on the carrot or tassels on the scarf, those little details we can do with the pen directly. So the pencil sketch, just big shapes, basic shapes, just to get it in there, big details. But all the other little stuff we could do directly with the pen, like, you know, his chubby cheeks or his, even his stick hand. We can add a stick hand later. So there's one guy. Do as many more snowmen as you want. I'm going to do a guy kind of over here. And this guy, we can see more of his body. Do you want him to have a round, like football kind of a body, more of a pear-shaped body, the traditional triple ball kind of a snowman? They can have big heads. They can have little heads. Anything you want. And as you're adding things, you can remove any unnecessary lines sort of cutting through your picture. Those snowy hills. Again, I'm not going to like do his arms. I'll do nose, eyes, mouth, hat. I'm going to do a brim that goes up. Yeah, top hat brims can go up, down. Maybe something like that. I truly want everyone's to be completely different from mine. Don't copy mine exactly. That's not what I want. I want to see your version. This is your world, your design. What if I put just like a little cutie right in here? I've got my cutie here, but I'm going to put him right here somewhere. Little baby cutie. What other accessories could snowmen have? If you have a great idea for a snowman accessory, put it in the chat. Or a fun winter animal. What if his hat? What if his hat is a long hat blowing in the wind? Sweet. Yeah, different angled faces. So we've got faces going this way, we've got faces going that way. We've got this guy's kind of looking directly at us, so the carrot's kind of coming like at us. I guess they don't all have to smile. There could be a grumpy snowman, and maybe his friends are trying to cheer him up. So there's another one. Let's do. I might fit 5 in this particular composition. We'll see here. I like one here. Let's go. We can have like tall, stretched out, skinny ones, little short, squat ones. I'm gonna make a really tall one, and he's kind of peeking at the side here. What other accessories could they like hold? Hockey stick, lacrosse stick, ringette stick. What kind of a hat am I going to give you? yeah, your snowmen's mouths, instead of like the big smile, like a line, it could be like little rocks, you know, pebbles you pick up and make it into the shape of a smile. I'm gonna do one here or here. Decisions. And it really doesn't matter that like if this was like a normal, realistic world, I would say do the snowmen that are further away smaller and the ones in the front bigger, but it doesn't really matter. It's okay if I have a ginormous snowman out here. I guess I should do one of them with earmuffs. I kind of skipped doing an earmuff one. One muff there, I guess. A little band, and then because he's kind of on an angle, this guy's on an angle, so I see most of this earmuff, but a little bit of the other. This guy's on this angle. I see most of this muff and just a little sliver of the other one. Mercury nose. Cute. Yeah, again, I'm not going to put the buttons, the arms just yet. Can I fit another one? I don't want to clutter it up too much. If you can fit another in your composition, please do so. But I'm going to keep it at 5. I think 5 is a good amount for now. I'll give you a bit of time to add, erase, adjust anything you need to. But even as we're, filling it in with the stippling, we could still adjust things as we go. Another that, yes. Could I fit a snow? I'm going to try to fit a little snowy cat or something down here. That could be funny. Little cat with a little cat collar. Would a snow cat have a carrot nose? That might look weird. I'm not going to do the carrot nose. I'll just do like a little, like if it had like a little rock, triangle shaped rock, we'll call it. It's so cute. All right, I like that. If you're still working on your basic sketches of any of your snowmen, just hit pause and we'll do the trees when you're ready. I'm going to move ahead to my trees now. So fit, whatever you have left of space up here. You don't have to do 1, 2, 3, 7. I've got 7 here. If you could just fit like 1 or 2, that's fine. Do it. I'm doing triangle trees. If you have like a different idea for a tree shape, do it. I'm going to do maybe one here. I'm just going to draw a line to be like the middle of my tree, just a line. And maybe I'll have another one here. They can go behind your snowman. 1, 2, let's do 1. And different heights. I'm going to do a little tiny little bitty one here. And I'll probably fit like 5-ish trees here. And how about a sweet little cute one here? And look, that one even went past the hill. I can make another one go past the hill. Maybe it goes down to here. So I've got 5 trees, at least the trunks. And then we'll add a triangle Could be a nice, tall, slender triangle. Could be more of a squat, stumpy triangle. Whatever works for you. Just basic shapes here. Triangle, triangle. Are my lines straight? No, because they don't have to be. Lovely. Basic shapes of trees there. Again, I'm not going to draw like all the stripes in pencil. We're going to do that with the pen. So there we go. That's our sketch. Now we don't really need our pencil anymore or eraser. Just tidy up any little thing, last little thing. Tidy this up. But yeah, on the whole, we're doing pretty good. That can be put aside. Some kind of waterproof pen is what you need next. Got a whole bunch of different ones. You could do the stippling with just one pen. That would be fine. If you have different sizes of pens, you can certainly do that. I would use maybe like a bigger size. Let's see, we've got an 05 here for like darker, blacker areas, and where you want it to be sort of lighter and airier, maybe a thinner size. We got a 005 here, we got a 01 here, but you could totally do this with literally just one pen. All right, what pen will I do love my Sharpie pens. I might do that today. So this is a good stippling project to try as maybe a beginner stippler. Maybe you don't know what I mean by stippling. It's just dots, literal dots. So if you look super duper close, all of these are all dots. Even like where it looks super black, that's just a million dots. So this is a good project because there's really just like outline, like white snow, white snowmen. We're outlining them. And then there's the really dark eyes, buttons, arms, hats, top hats. So there's not really a whole lot of gray tones. I do have a couple of other tutorials on our website where you get a lot more like gray tones in between tones, but this is kind of like black, white, dots, no dots. You're going to hold your pen up and down as straight up and down, perpendicular as you can. If you start dotting on an angle, any angle, you're going to start getting dashes instead of a dot. An occasional accidental dash here and there, no one's going to notice. Even if you look really closely at mine, where I started to get a little bit tired, a little lazy, a lot of my dots have like a little tail, a little dash. That happens, but keep your pen up and down. And let's start with, what should we start with? I'm going to start with sort of the rolling hills that we did first with our pencil. I'm just going to do this one. Dot, dot, dot. So I might get, what should I get? I might get this pad. If you put something under your paper and you're dotting, it kind of dullens the tap, tap, tap noise. Especially if there's other people in the room, maybe. They might not like the incessant tap, tap, tap that's about to happen for the next, probably good 45 minutes to an hour of tap, 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 tap. So I just started it, a bit of this hill, and it's okay if some of your dots go astray, like a little bit above or a little bit below, that's fine. Tap, 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 tap. So if you get them really condensed, really up close, overlapping each other almost, it's going to look like a solid line from a distance. But if they're like, only a couple dots every couple centimeters, it's going to look very like a dot to dot, incomplete. So you really want to condense them, have them touching, but really don't worry about being exactly on the pencil line. Yeah, and you'll decide yourself how much is the right amount of dots for you. It could be more than me or less than me. Okay, so let's look at mine. Messy. There's a lot of wild dots there. And a little bit of gaps. It's not perfectly solid. And that's fine. That's okay. And I'm going to keep going with more of these snowy hills. You can even change things as you go. So I've got this round shape here. Maybe I don't exactly like the look of it. Maybe I want to kind of alter it as I go. I kind of dipped it down. Because later, when all of our dotting is finished, I'm going to erase all the pencil lines. So this kind of discrepancy here between the pencil and the pen, that's going to disappear. We're not going to see that anymore. Once you get the hang of this dotting, this stippling, you could mute me rambling on, put on a show, put on some holiday music, put on a podcast or something if you don't want to hear me just dotting away, rambling away. There we go. There's another little hill. We keep going. We do all the hills. If you do have different pens, different sizes of pens, or even different brands of pens, test them all out. Do a little section with a different size or different brand. See if it makes a nicer dot, a darker dot for you. So I'm just gonna skip over where I have some snowmen for now. I'm just gonna do the simple hills, just all the rolling hills to start. And then we'll get into snowmen and details. But if you want to go about it a different way, go ahead. Start doing a scarf or a hat or a cat. Maybe you like to work on projects from the top down or from left to right. You do you. What other stippling things have we done? There's another one on our channel right now. I think it's called Country Winter. We did that maybe 2 winters ago. Could have been 3 winters ago. That's also a very nice beginner-friendly stippling and watercolor project on our channel right now. Free Country Winter. If you enjoy the stippling and watercolor process, check that one out. And there's also a number of stippling projects on our website. So we have some paid tutorials on our website. And all of our tutorials, you can search them. There's a search bar on our website, and you can just type in stippling, or you can type in watercolor, or you can type in Chris, and you'll get different things to look at. There's a stippled, like a puppy sleeping, a stippled blue whale. We did a stippling blue whale. Ooh, a stippled hiking boot. I called it Take a Hike. It was real funny. My family just left the house. They couldn't take the tap, tap, tap noise anymore. No. No, my husband's taking our son to music lessons. So they'll be back a little later. Anne says that she liked the hiking boot one. Yeah, I loved the hiking boot one. And everyone kind of added their own little flourishes, different like items, different designs, different animals to their hiking boot. That was very cool to see. Yes, Joanna, the sleeping puppy was last Christmas. I believe I filmed that one in a hotel room because I was like away. And it was funny because like I had the like I took all the lamp shades off the lamps and I brought it all around the little tiny coffee table in our little hotel room. So it was just like all these lamp shades are off because I needed light. Hotel rooms aren't super well lit. Okay, got some of my hills going. Yeah, the hills are good practice. They're forgiving. Can't really mess up a hill. If you mess it up, just make it into another shape, make a different hill out of it. Okay, a couple of wild dots for good measure. Blup, 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 blup. Blup, 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 blup. Yeah, so I've got my hills done. Like later on, if you feel like you want to add another hill, like, oh, right here, I want to add a hill here and put a little cutie there, or you could still add stuff. All right, I'm gonna start on my snowman bodies, my snowman accessories, faces, arms, hats, whatever you want to do. I'll go with this big guy down here. He's gonna take a while to do. Again, we're gonna outline. And if you don't exactly follow the pencil, that's fine. Change the shape of things as you go if you want. Make it smaller, make it bigger. Oh yes, I forgot about that one. That was just the summer. Joanna mentioned the Peggy's Cove Turtle Stippling. That was a beautiful one. And I actually was stippling on the plane coming home from Peggy's Cove in Halifax. So like the plane turbulence was like kind of shaking it up, but like, you know, a couple of, you know, wiggly dots here and there. No one can tell. So yeah, stippling would be like a good type of drawing to do on a plane or a train or a car, where it doesn't really matter that every dot is placed exactly right. Or my scribble style. I have a very scribbly style of drawing with pens. That is also very conducive to traveling. Boop, boop. Yeah, I'm just outlining my scarf, but I can add to that whatever I want. I can have little tassels. You know, lots of scarves have little yarn tassels on the end. What about a scarf pattern? Stripes or dots or snowflakes or chevrons or keep it a solid color scarf. Yeah, solid. All of my scarves here are solid color. That's not going to stop me from embellishing whatever I feel like. I know we've just started, but I already can't wait to see all of your compositions, your snowmen. In the video description down below here, I included a link to our Watercolor Lover Facebook group. I'd love to have you join that Facebook group and share photos. You could also email us photos or tag us on Facebook. Or we also have the artist palette painting / drawing support group, and that's also where we post free events. So maybe that's where you found this free event. We'd love to see pictures in that group too. Going around his head. With things that are supposed to be white, such as the hills, the snowman's face, his body. Like, I do like having some of the dots like encroaching onto him. So it's like very slight shading kind of a thing. So like just come in a little bit with some of those dots. Like lighter, less dense than like the edge. The edge is where I want it to be more dense. Just gives like sort of a feel of shading. Wild dots. Make a lumpy carrot, make a straight carrot. If you have a baby snowman, give him like a little baby carrot nubbin little nose. That'd be hilarious. Okay, and I'll add like a couple of like lines, creases to our carrot, if you will. This is a unpeeled carrot. It's not smooth. That's a big carroty nose. I'm going to add some like dots like under where the carrot like is like jammed into the snow. It would be a little bit darker there, like a little shadow where it's jammed in there. Not too much, just a little. Let's give him a big old smile. A lot of densely packed little dots to give it a nice dark, sort of a solid looking line for a smile. I suppose your snowman could have like an open mouth, and you could color in sort of like darker in there. I'm going to give him sort of like as if these are chubby cheeks, a little curl at the end of the smile. Look at that, nice and dark. The eyes, I've got all my eyes quite black, as if they were like little stones, but I did leave a teeny tiny white dot in each eye, if you can, of that like highlight, a little highlight. Leave it white. Like some of the eyes might be like too small to leave a little white dot. Might be too difficult. Just fill it in. That's fine. So I like to outline the eye, and then sort of outline where you want the white dot to remain, so you don't accidentally fill it in, and then fill in the rest. And usually when I'm doing eyes on like a human or an animal, I try to have the eyes the same size and shape. But if we're picturing these eyes are rocks or pebbles, it's okay if the eyes aren't the same shape or size because they're pebbles. but I think I still will try to keep them sort of roughly the same. But just don't fret if they're not. What other things could we put on our snowman's face? Like, do you want them to have sunglasses, glasses, eyebrows, a beauty mark, freckles, a monocle? I don't know. Whatever you want to add to your snowman's face. A lot of my snowman's faces, I kind of did a line under the eye as if they're smiling so big that their cheeks are kind of bulging up right here a little bit. It could be on like one side, it could be on both. Just like a little line under the eye. He's looking cute. Let's do his little hat, toque. I guess they could wear like a ball cap or a balaclava would be kind of weird, but you could totally have a snowman in a balaclava. Ooh, ski goggles. What if these are skiing? What's snowing? Skiing snowmen or snowboarding snowmen. All right, I'm going to give the brim some bridges, some stripes, as if it was like knitted. There might be some, some ribs texture here. Are mine all evenly, perfectly spaced? No. And that's all right. Okay, he's pretty good. I'm gonna give him like a waving little arm, like he's waving at us with his little stick arm. Maybe it's on this side this time. And just invent it as you go. A stick, does it have one or two twigs on the stick? Is it thick? Is it thin? Is it kind of crooked? Because when you're outside making a snowman on your front lawn or backyard, there's never like a perfect stick that's like the shape of a hand. Never. Just whatever you have available. There we go. He's got a little waving hand. If you have room for a button or two, whether it's like a rock or like an actual button, get a nice dark button in there. Only if you have room. Maybe your scarf is in the way, or let's say he has like one visible button there. Sure, that looks good. A couple more dots, wildly about, whatever. There we go. So that guy's done. He's stippled. Oh yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, you can see like this one's smaller, this one's bigger. He seems more in your face. I like it. All right. Do you want to move from the bottom up? Do you want to just kind of do what you want to do? I'm going to do my little kitty cat. You do you. Choose a snowman or a snow cat. Again, you could be experimenting with different sizes of pens. See what works best for you. I think if you're just starting off with stippling, something on the medium to larger size would be best. So I would say probably like a 03, 05 if you have the Sakura brand. This one doesn't really say what size it is. Nothing in the fine print, but if I had to guess what that would be, probably a 05 or 03. Let's look. Yeah, 03. And then if you do enjoy the stippling, you can get into more finer pens, finer detail, more in-depth shading in images. Go. Don't forget to leave a little white highlight in your eyes as you go. You could add, like I did eyelashes on my cat, you could have eyelashes on any of your snowmen, make eyebrows, I don't know, maybe a snowman mustache, snowman beard, especially if you're trying to sort of encapsulate your family. Hey, little snow cat. So cute. I guess you could add like, you know, different patches of color with our paint later on. You could do like a tuxedo cat or tabby. Or leave it as a white cat. I think I might leave it as a snowy white cat in this case. Did you know that a lot of white cats are deaf? If you see like a white cat in like a shelter or something, they're often deaf, which is interesting. Something about the genetics. They're predisposed to be deaf. Did you further know that orange tabbies, the orange ones, mostly male, think something like 1 in 8 of orange tabbies are female. I like this little baby guy, this little cutie with his tiny little nose and his big hat. I'm going to make his hat like, see, his hat is kind of covering his eyes. I think that's kind of funny. I'm going to probably do that again. I love when kids wear hats that are too big for their head and it just lose half their face in the hat. Now, don't you worry if maybe you're still on your first snowman. I'm going fast. I've done a lot of stippling in the past. You do not have to keep up with me. In fact, you can press pause anytime you need to take a little breather, a little break. And you don't have to do this all in one go. You can do like half of it today, half tomorrow. Do a little over the weekend. And people will see it and they'll say, hey, what are you working on over here? Oh, I'm just working on a stippling watercolor project. And they'll maybe want to join you. There we go. There's my little cutie. I'm going to give him some buttons. I'm going to give him some arms. Something about the buttons just kind of complete the snowman for some reason. Let's give him an arm. They could be arms up in the air, arms that are down. What do I want? It could be holding something. It could be like bent arm, straight arm. It's a stick. It's a stick. It could do whatever you want it to do. Beautiful. What a great stick arm you have there, buddy. Let's give him another stick arm. There we go. He's got 2 stick arms. My cat. I'm looking at my cat. I think I'm going to give it some stick whiskers, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I like that. That's pretty funny. All right, let's do another snowman. I'm really excited, you guys, for this weekend. So I've been with Artist Palette Derm Region for 3 years, over 3 years. I've never actually met Vera. We all love Vera, right? I've never actually met her. So we're going to finally meet this Saturday. I've met Liesl before. We've hung out. Liesl's also going to be there. A couple of our other hosts. We're all getting together for a nice Christmas dinner together. The Artist Palette Derm Region hosts. It's going to be so cute. Because we kind of come from like all over a little bit. So it'd be nice to actually meet up. Oh, Sue has a really good idea. A pirate snowman with an eye patch. Love it. I am a big fan of pirates. I dress up as a pirate for Halloween. Yes. I like your thinking. Doesn't stippling remind you of tattooing, right? Because that's really all tattoos are. It's just the ink, a lot of tiny dots. Yeah, every once in a while, it's nice to just look at it as a whole. It's really starting to pop, really come to life. I'm so focused on just like one tiny little area that I forget what the whole picture looks like. All right, I'm going to work on one of my top hats now, which are traditionally black. So it's just going to take a lot of dots. It's no different than what we've been doing. We're just going to really condense the dots to fill it in. If the thought of all those dots tires you out, you could outline the top hat like we've been doing with everything, outline it and fill it in with black paint. Easy. But I like to get a little dotty in here and have some bands of a little bit lighter, as if the top hat is like maybe like silk or satin, so it's kind of shiny. So it's got some lighter bands. Camera, focus, camera. There you go. Yeah, what we're doing here, we're creating our own coloring page. Black outlines on white. But in this case, we're making them out of dots. And I will leave a band on my top hat, like that colored little band that you see. Yeah, something like that. And I have in the past tried double stippling with two hands. You could try it. It's risky though. You think you're gonna be able to fill it in twice as fast, but yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Just gotta be more careful because your left hand, or well, your non-dominant hand kind of goes rogue sometimes. Doing pretty good. Double stippling. Yeah, Sue, you could totally involve some cross hatching. You could do the whole thing kind of cross hatch. Another project for another day. Yeah, cross hatching. You're gonna make lines in one direction, then the other direction, filling in an area. Now I know I can get this darker. The more tiny little gaps you can fill in, the darker it will seem. But again, you could fill this in a little bit with some black paint and no one would be the wiser. Yeah, so I've left like 2 bands that seem as if it gives it a bit of a shine. There's a couple of wild dots. Boop, boop, boop. Let's give them buttons. Let's give them arms. Any other accessories you want? What if on this snowman, I'll just do it. And you can figure out what I'm doing as I go. Huh? A mitten. You could put a mitten on a stick on a snowman for sure. I have definitely done that with my soaking wet mittens, stuck it on a stick, put it on the snowman. Definitely. That's awesome. Hee hee hee. I'm gonna put his other arm. I guess maybe this one's kind of going off the page. That's all right. Cute. Yeah, I like the addition of the mittens, something I didn't add in the original. All right, we're getting there, guys. Let's do this guy. I totally get that. Paula, I know the shaking. Yeah, I've got the light and the camera on a stand, and then I've got that on a box, and then I've weighted it with a magic bag to try to reduce the shaking, but nothing I do. Like I'd have to like physically hold it. I thought the magic bag would like weight it better. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough with the stippling tutorials. You always have that little wobble. With the watercolor and the acrylic, not so much. Surprisingly. Not surprisingly. I need one of those. I'm sure that Hollywood movies have those like kind of rigs that are like self-stabilizing. You know what I mean? Need one of those. What else do I have that's like, maybe if I grab like, I have a sack of rice, that would maybe like weigh it down somehow. I wonder, Paola, how do you feel about like reading books in a car? My mom cannot do that. It's just like, you know, the words are kind of going like this. So reading in a car is a nay-nay. Too shaky. This guy's got some big eyes. Big rocks for eyes here. Ooh, I like that idea. A shelf or a table. Yeah, I feel like I would have to have the camera on a completely different surface that I'm working on, you know what I mean? Because it vibrates the whole table. Because I'm getting like kind of closer to the top of my page, I often like to rotate the whole thing around. Because you could just as easily dot this way as the other way. Yeah, that would work if I had a shelf nearby. I'm in the middle of the dining room, but I do like the suggestion. Thank you for that idea. Things to think about. Yeah, so like I'm just working on the dining room table. I used to have a little studio room in our house, but then with the pandemic, my little art studio room became the office that my husband works in because everyone works from home, right? So I used to have the cutest little art space. Now it's the dining table, and then I got to put it away, and then I got to take it out again and put it away again. I feel like if you have a dedicated art space, I feel like you might do art more often because it's already set up. It's already right there, ready to go. But I often, I don't want to set up and then put it all away before dinner, blah, blah, blah. One day I'll get that space back. Take it back. We're getting there, guys. Don't lose hope. The stippling part, this is the long haul. This is the tough part. Not that it's tough, it's just it's long, it's tedious. But the end result, worth it. And then filling it in with paint or colored pencils, pastels, what have you, is the fun part. You just slap the color around, brighten it up. Oh, I might try my patented double stipple. Okay, the whole, it's like a tremor. There's a tremor happening here. Well, thank you, Crafty Visage. I hope yours is also looking fabulous if you are working along with me. Or not. A lot of people will just tune in to watch and then do it some other time on their own time. Because the watching is just as enjoyable as the doing. That's pretty dark. I know I could get it darker. That's pretty dark. And you can always go back in later, even after you've painted it, and darken areas, you know, connect some gappy areas. That's looking good. So he needs arms, he needs, you know, buttons if you want, anything else, patterns on anything, accessories. Okay, I've got one guy over here. And then after the stippling, we'll probably take a little breather, a little break. We can stretch our legs. Oh, I also want to show you some upcoming events with me. If you've been enjoying my style of art, if you've been enjoying my style of hosting, I've got lots of colorful stuff coming up with watercolors. I'll also show you the next YouTube live that I'll be doing. I'll give you a hint. It involves butts. Yep, you heard me right. I said butts. If this is the first time you've tuned in with me, I'm a little bit obsessed with painting butts, especially animal butts. And I believe we are on our, I want to say either 12th or 13th installment of the butt series. So all the other butt videos, those are on our YouTube already. You could check those out now, tonight, another day. If you like looking at the rear ends of animals, You're going to like my butt series. Any animal you can think of. We're doing more. Good. I'm so glad there's a butt fan out there. There's always at least one butt fan. Okay, let's give him an arm. Let's give him some buttons. I've been wanting to do a underwater butt painting for a while, but I just can't kind of picture how I would go about doing an underwater animal's butt in a understandable way. Because like fish, what do they look like from behind? They look thin, right? What about a whale? Like it would just be the tail, right? What else is in the water that you could show the rear end and be like, oh, I know exactly what that is. It's just tough. So it might be one of those things that I never get to paint the butt of. Oh yeah, dino butts. Kids love dinos. Kids love butts. He's gonna love dino butts. You could change up the dinosaurs too. You could do I don't know dinosaur names. I did like a long neck dinosaur. I did a triceratops, and I did like one of those dinosaurs that have the bashy tail. There we go. Do my little earmuff, snowman. Yeah, just something different. Starfish butt. I don't know. what would be their butt like? I think that'd be the underside of it. That's a tough one. Yeah, mermaid. That's tough too. Oh yeah. Penguins, but like as seen through the ice from below. Lots of good suggestions. We've certainly done a lot of mammals' butts, because I think that's, you know, kind of a mammal thing to have a butt. I guess, like, you know, a big rear end is kind of a mammal's way of saying, hey, I'm well fed and healthy. Check me out, you know? I don't think an insect would really prioritize a butt in looking for a partner. Or like a reptile, you know, it's not really a bird, probably not bird. I think they're more about the feathers. So certainly a mammal thing. We did do sort of a snowman butt image. It wasn't actually part of the butt series, but it was snowmen from sort of a back angle. So you don't actually see their faces. And we sort of customized it to our own families. And that was last, I want to say January. It is on YouTube Live. That video is on our channel right now. Check it out. All right, they've got my earmuffs. I think I'm done the snowman. I might give him one little arm here. Yeah, finish up any patterns that you want, any accessories that you want to add. You can add a little snow dog. That's pretty good. I think a lot of us are well fed there. Okay. If you're still working on your snowman, just keep going at it. Just go at your own pace. You could put like a lot more time and effort into these dots, really tidy it up, really darken and crisp up your lines, add patterns, add anything you want. Hit pause, and then when you're ready, we can do the trees together. I'll do my trees now. I have chosen sort of a stylistic, geometric, minimalist tree here. It's just a triangle divided in half. Half is stripy, half is not. You could do both sides stripy. You could do a different angle of stripe. Could be straight across. It could be this angle. It could be like a chevron kind of thing going up like this. Polka dot trees, trees with ornaments on them, no stripes, make it more realistic. They could have like, kind of shaggy branch outlines. You've got the pencil of the triangle, but you can kind of do kind of the shaggy, more realistic evergreen tree, whatever you feel like. I'll start by sort of like outlining the trees, and then we'll see how I fill them in. I'm probably going to do something similar to this just because I like that simple style. I do want the trees to sort of be background, not the focus here. It's the snowmen. They're happy faces. That's the focus of this painting. Yeah, you brainstorm for me because I've been trying to brainstorm underwater, but ways to do it, and it's just difficult. I'm adding sort of like a little base on the tree, so it's not just like a stick, like how trees kind of flare out at the bottom. But you can do whatever you want to do. So I'm on my last outline of my tree. In the interest of time, I think I'm gonna skip doing the lines on this particular set of trees. So these lines here, they could also be added after. Anything could be added afterwards if you want to add patterns, shading, darken anything after the paint is dry. So I might just go right into painting after this tree is outlined. There we go. Couple of random dots because I like them. It makes it seem like less perfect. Boop, 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 random dots. Random dots. Now I do have a very light sprinkling of dots around the very outside edge. Optional. Optional. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do them on this particular one. But if you like the look of a very light amount of dots all the way around, go for it. Couple of dots here and there. There we go. All right, that was a lot of intense dotting. Shake it out, cap your pen, maybe even stand up. Oh, stretch out your legs. Shake out your hands. I'm going to do some painting in a moment. Let's get these pens out of here. While you shake it off, I'm going to show you some upcoming events. We've got, next week, Holiday Gnome Homes. So it is pen and watercolor. We're going to draw this from scratch, no outline necessary. And if you look really close, it is my patent pending Chris's scribble art style. The lines are messy. It doesn't matter. From a distance, it looks impressive. So we're going to draw that together, pen it together, and paint it next Thursday. Tickets on the website for Holiday Gnome Homes. And let's go to the next page. This one's great. Look at the colors. So I called this one Kiss Me at Midnight. You will get an outline for this one for the dog. Then you're going to design your own New Year headband. And then we will paint it together. So again, this one's pen. And then we add the watercolor after. All the same supplies we're using today, guys. Tickets on the website for Kiss Me at Midnight. We're going to do that on the 28th. Thursdays is when I teach. And then we're already into the new year. Again, pen and watercolor. Wow, shocking. Chris loves pen and watercolor. I called it New Year's Goals. Get it? Like in the new year, you set a goal. But no, they are playing hockey and scoring some goals. I kind of was going for like Bruins versus Habs kind of thing, if you know what I mean. The ultimate rivalry. My team is the Bruins, by the way. So that is January 4th for the New Year's goals. Tickets on the website. I will show you, let me show you two more things. The next But event. Where is it? Here it is. Butts. Acrylic. This one's in acrylic. I mostly do the butt ones acrylic on canvas. Arctic butts. Arctic butts. We've got a polar bear, maybe it's a fox, and a bunny. my sister looked at it and she's like, is it a llama? Because she thought that the whole creature was like one creature. I'm like, no, it's 3 animals. Is it a llama? So this one will be January 18th, free right here where we are now. Join me for that one in a little over a month. And let me show you one more. This one is not on the website yet. It's a sneak peek. It's, where is it? Here we go. We're going to do 3 in 1. I'm going to call it Marine Minis. So you get to do a dolphin, you get to do a blue whale, and you get to do an orca in a fun, splashy watercolor and pen style. You get to do all 3 minis for one low price. So this is not on the website yet. It'll be on there soon. We're going to do that January 11th. 3 for the price of 1. It's going to be fun. All right, so that's all the upcoming stuff I have to show you. Let's bring in the paint. If you're getting a little weary of so much art, what time is it? Yeah, we've been going pretty long, an hour and 45-ish. I'm going to lightly erase my extra pencil. We don't want any dark pencil showing here. Get that little erase. But yeah, most of this will get a little bit of paint on it, so even if a little pencil's still visible, some paint will distract. Yes, the pen. So I was showing a lot of different pens earlier. Today the pen I used was by Sharpie. They make a lot of markers, but also pens. That's a blue one, that's a black one. Sharpie also makes other pens, felt tip pens, also waterproof. I often use a Sharpie pen, but I've got the Micron pens from Sakura. I've even got some Le Pen. That's a brand name, Le Pen. Those are great too. All right, light erase. There we go. Beauty. Now, color-wise, any color, anywhere. Just because I've got like a blue vibe here, a red vibe here, orange vibe, you don't have to do that. You can mix and match. I kind of went with sort of coordinated outfits. You don't have to do that. I am going to start with, you know, all the hats, all the scarves, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll probably do like the big, you know, snowy areas last. They mostly stay white, but we'll just accent it with a little color. Use whatever brush is appropriate for whatever it is that you're working on. So mine might be a bit bigger than yours. So if yours is just on the whole smaller, maybe stick with your small brush the whole time. If I'm working on a tiny carrot, I'm going to grab my small brush. If I'm working on a big tree section, I'm going to grab a bigger brush. You don't need me to tell you, oh, I'm going to use a number 4 right now. You do you. I'm going to do, hats, scarves in whatever colors you want. And I do some extra mixing in the lid portion to just add some more water to it. Mix 2 colors together if you don't have the exact color you want. I'm going to get some red going. Maybe have like matching outfits for you and your family. You could do that for sure. And if you've never worked with watercolors before, it is very watery. It's like you're painting with juice. That is the consistency you want. It is see-through. See, I can paint right over all these dots, all these lines, and I can still perfectly see them. Here's a little bit of a red toque. I might do a matching red pom-pom. All very light, 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 light. And then to give it sort of like shading, get a little bit darker. So whether it's just a darker red in general or just a darker version of that same color you just used, just more like vivid, more intense, and just dab a little on the, I'm going with the right side for my picture, just a little darker, and it's going to spread and it's going to go where it wants to go, but it just gives it the slight impression of shading. Like in this case, I did use like a lighter green and then just a whole nother different darker green. But in this case, it's the same color red. It's just more intense over there. And you could even take away some paint to give it like a highlight. So if I clean my brush, I can scoop up, absorb some of the paint, wipe it off, take some paint away, wipe it off. So now it seems like this is lighter, this side's lighter, and this side's darker, because I'm picturing maybe the sun or the light source is coming from this direction. So I'm just going to do that wherever I want, matching outfits or not. Lighter on the left, darker on the right, makes it seem just more 3D. Dab in a little orange into a yellow, dab in some red into some orange, dab in some blue into some green. You can mix and match colors. Let's do maybe a little blue. And like, let's say, like I've painted a little bit of blue here, but I'm not loving it. I can wipe off my brush. I can sort of absorb it, sort of suck it up, wipe it off. You can even have, like, if you have some paper towel nearby or a tissue, you could even dab and remove and soak up to, you know, undo or erase anything. I'm going to do a different blue. That's a nice blue. Now we're talking. And it's okay to go outside the lines. I've already gone outside the lines several times. There we go. I just went outside the line there, and here, and there, and there. Oh, cute blue hat. What about a, let's go purple. Purple scarf. Why not? Some of my scarves have little tassels. Some of them don't. What about green? Lovely green. And I am just going to stick with like one layer of paint sort of per section. But if you paint it and then later on you feel like you want to add like a pattern or just a second coat to kind of darken it, richen it, you can totally do that. But I'm just going to go with like one layer of color. But you can certainly embellish it as you see fit. green. I'm going to do green mittens. Yep, can't forget those little cute mittens I made. That was new and different. All right, what colors do I like? Pink. Pink's one of my faves. Let's do pink. Do you guys own any metallic watercolors? You can add metallics to any of these areas. What about mixed media? You could do some in watercolor, some in colored pencil. Get some pastels involved. Literally anything. Watercolor is my favorite medium as well. It's just so forgiving. I'm going to go with forgiving, fast, fun, forgiving. Yeah, I like that. And portable, right? I can just bring this little case on a plane, on a train, in a car, in my luggage. Acrylics, yeah, you could get a little like a wet palette, seal it up, bring that along, but you can't beat watercolor for portability. Cute. What about yellow? I haven't got any yellow yet. And I'm not saying you have to have every color. I just think it really brightens it up. Because winter landscapes can be a little dull, but not with a bunch of colorful snowmen. Orange. Well, while I have orange on the brush, I might as well do their carroty noses. Good. All right. What else? I guess the cat. That cat needs something. What would you like, cat? There we go. Little catty ears. Yep, just went outside the line again. Whoops. All right, I think I'll work on, I'll do half of my trees lighter green, and we'll let it dry, and then we'll do the other half of the trees after, because we don't want wet touching wet. It's just one of those watercolor basic rules. So this is dry. My scarf is dry, so I feel comfortable doing this part of the tree. But if I were to immediately do the second half of the tree right next to this wet half of the tree, they'd blur together, they'd bleed. It wouldn't be that nice crisp line down the middle anymore. Yeah, do half your trees. Let it dry a few minutes. Do the other half. What do I want? Maybe, I'm going to try some gold on my little cat's collar. because I do have some metallics in this set. It's a great little set. Oh, gold collar. Good. Yeah, we're not too far off. It's just like big, big sections. Things are drying. It dries pretty fast because we're not doing a whole bunch of layers, not a whole lot of in-depth shading. Small little sections, one color. Yeah, starting to dry. I'm going to add color to this snow, but it's very light, very watery colors. And I happen to have metallic paint. So I did add in my snow metallic colors. But if you don't have that, just do very pale, pale blue, pale, pale yellow, pale, pale green, just super watery. Mix extra water on a palette, on a lid, on a plate. Just the lightest version of a color that you can make is what your goal is. And I've done, you know, some of the snowy hills kind of blue, some kind of green, a little bit yellow, or you could have like pink accent, purple accent, literally anything you want, just as long as it's super watery. I'm going to start with a blue. Got a metallic blue over here, which is lovely. And I just do like the bottoms of the hills, not like the top of the hill would be whitest, where the sun is shining on the bump of the hill, but near the bottom of the hill, the base, here's some very watery blue, very pale. Bottom, this is the bottom of the hill, not the crest of this hill. And you can kind of have it kind of climbing up the hill a little bit. And then I rinse out my brush. Now it's just water. And I kind of blur it. Make it even waterier. Blur it. Kind of feather it out. Make it super light. Barely there. And just fades into nothing. Look how light that is. Super light. Can the camera even really see it? Let's see if we can hit an angle. We can sort of hit the angle and you can see the wetness right in here. So pale. Super pale. And I might just dab in a tiny bit, a little bit darker right at the very, very bottom. Super pale. And that's it. The hill, this hill is painted now. I'm going to leave the rest of that hill as it is. Good morning, Pallavi. Thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. All right, I'm gonna do this other hill, sort of the same color. This blue, very pale, very light. Get some water on your brush. Feather it out, blur it. There we go, super pale. Do I want one more blue hill? So this is another hill here, the base of that hill. Got a little blue. Rinse off my brush, just water. Blur it. Lightly feather it out. That's it. So 1, 2, 3. These 3 hills down here, I'm not going to do anything else to them. They are painted now. And I'll do, this sort of middle ground section, light, light, light green. Pale, pale green, or the color of your choice. Could be pink, could be purple. Here is some pale, light, watery green. Get a little water. Feather it, mute it, blur it. Get a little more. Let's get this base of this hill. And a little over here. water, fade, fade, fade. Fade, fade, fade. Barely, barely there. Light, light, light green. It is lighter on the camera, I think, than in real life. In real life, I'm looking at it and it looks a little bit more richer. And I might just add like little darker bits in some of these little corners, the very bottom. Do I want a little more green? I think that's enough green for me. I'm going to do a very pale, pale. I've got a pale green. I've got a pale yellow. I could do gold. I could do pink. Pink. I might try some pink in my snow. Because I said so. Because I want to. Not wild about it, but I tried it. That's the important thing. I tried something different. I've been saying this a lot lately. The biggest mistake you can make in art is to not try it, not try something. Otherwise, there's no mistakes. Was pink the right choice? I don't hate it, but I do like the yellow. The yellow was nice in that one. Pink would be nice with like purple. I could do like a little purple hill here. What do I have in the purple department? Might make my own here. A little pink, a little blue. Yeah. That's a vibe. We've got blue, green, pink, purple. Kind of giving me like 90s vibes. All right. I'm looking at my trees. Half the tree that I painted is dry, so I am able to paint the other half of the tree. Darker green, maybe yellow, maybe blue. Whatever you feel would be a good complement for the other half of your tree. What if you did your trees purple, blue? Could be anything. What's that? Charlie Brown Christmas, where he goes to like the Christmas tree lot, but it's all like metal trees and they're all, well, they look like this, triangles that are painted different colors. Yeah, so these ones are like a little lighter than say these ones. Everyone's will be different. There we go, I've got my trees filled in. Again, you could always add the diagonal lines onto your trees, or maybe make them horizontal, polka dots, any kind of pattern on your tree. All right, we are getting close to the end here, surprisingly. Let's add a little bit of color on the snowmen themselves, just like we did for the snow hills, but now we'll do the snowmen themselves, and it could be like the same colors we were using on the hills or different. I'm gonna try different, but it's gonna be very pale. It's gonna be most of the colors at the bottom, and then kind of fade it up. Let's go with green on this guy. So near the bottom of the snowman, the sort of the right side, so maybe a little bit on the right side of his face, underneath like his, I guess under his chin, a little bit of green under the chin. We're trying to make him look like a ball, not a flat circle. He's a ball. So I've got a little green there, a little green on the side of his face and his chin. Wet brush, clean your brush out. And again, blur it, dab it, mute it, fade it, bop it. Sorry, no, not bop it. There we go. Very watery, very pale. He still looks like a white snowman, but there's a little bit of a shading going on. Maybe even a teeny little bit like under his nose, like the nose would maybe cast a little bit of a shadow, but just the barest, tiniest little bit. Maybe a teeny little bit like under the hat. The hat might cast a little shadow. Very pale, so pale. Can you even see it that I put a little bit of green there? Tiniest bit. Here we go. That's going to dry quickly. I'm going to add a little to my cat, a little to each snowman, just very pale. What color for my cat? I'm going to try gold. Gold. Maybe it'll be like a orange tabby cat with a little gold accent. Again, wet brush, blend it, soften it. Yeah, it sort of looks like a orange cat now. A little bit of a warm gold accent. Barely there. So light. Okay. Maybe some yellow. Yellow snow. I'm not sure that's the message I wanted to send there. He just looks happy and cheerful. That's okay. Go, we're almost there. I'm going to do a snowman, one last snowman, and then we'll do our sky, and then we're done. Ba, ba, ba. Once again, I'd like to mention I would love to see your finished paintings in our Watercolor Lovers Facebook group or our Artist Palette painting / drawing support group, or literally direct message us, email us. We'd love to see your work. All right, look at how colorful without being too colorful, because it is, if you look at the whole thing, mostly white. I'm going to flip this around so I can do the sky easier. I've done my sky like bluey, greeny, light greeny. This could be more of a night sky. You could do it quite dark. Do a purple sky. Do a beautiful sunset, orange, pink, yellow. Whatever sky you want. Just straight blue. I'm going to try, what would be interesting to try? I'm going to try a darker sky here. So here will be like a lighter sky example. Light, bluey green. I'm going to try a little bit darker just to see what it would look like. And if you like how it's looking, do it yourself or do a light sky. I want darker than that. Let's try this. It's quite dark, quite a nice contrast with the snow. Let's just compare and contrast. Here we've got light sky, dark sky. It is a different effect with the darker sky. I might dab some white on the sky later when it's dry. Kind of give it either a snow effect or a star effect. Up to interpretation. Yeah, and then as it dries, there might be little patches that form, little cauliflowers or blooms, and that might seem like clouds or maybe galaxy kind of a look. It's gonna look good. Yeah, and if you noticed, I was just like curling my paper, trying to curl my paper back to its like original flatness, because it tends to curl up when you're doing big wet sections. Okay, I think that does it. I'm gonna initial. I'm gonna do my initials in Stippling, but you could do your initials in watercolor or the medium that you use. Maybe you did some colored pencils. Pen. There we go, pen. Get your initials in there or your whole autograph. Have you ever tried to stipple your autograph? There we go. I just stippled my initials right on his little scarfy there. Okay, I am going to show you pulling the tape off, but I don't do what I'm doing. Do it later when it's dry. Do as I say, not as I do. Pull your tape carefully, slowly. If you do start to notice a rip forming, just stop what you're doing and go from the other direction to minimize your rip. But the tape pull is very satisfying. Thanks, Crafty Visage. Yeah, it's interesting to show you how you can alter your composition. I don't want to see exact copies of this. This is the inspiration, and I'm hoping that yours at home are vastly, wildly different from mine. Okay, so here's a rip starting to form because this is still soaking wet. This little paper bit here is wet and ripping. So I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to let it dry a few moments, but I'm going to try another section. Go from a different attack angle. But certainly wait a good hour. Wait even overnight to pull your tape. I know it's super tempting, but I want you to have a rip-free experience. As we're wrapping up, guys, fire me any questions that you might still have about anything I said or showed you here, or other events that I was showing you earlier. Any questions about those, or just maybe artist palette Durham in general? Any questions in the chat before we head off here? Okay, so I minimized my little rip by coming at the other direction. So it's just like a teeny little fray there. Last tape pull. It just really completes it. Boom. Gorgeous. Yeah, when this is dry, I'm going to dot some little white dots. Awesome. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me the whole way. Wonderful. We've got lively discussion. I hope your paintings are just as lively and colorful as mine. Can't wait to see them. I don't see any questions rolling in. I've kept you a little long, like an extra 20 minutes. I usually try to keep it to 2 hours, but I think this was worth it. All the stipple work. All right, thanks again, guys. In case I don't see you before the holiday season or the new year, have a great holiday with loved ones. Safe travels. We'll see you in the new year for Arctic Butts. Right here, YouTube Live. The 18th is the Arctic Butts. Otherwise, I might see you in maybe a Zoom, maybe another event. All right, good night. Take care, Joanna. Thank you. Any questions? Nope. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Happy painting. Bye now.